Well, good morning. It's Monday 7th. It is the 7th today. 7th of December, and we've got a slightly different morning coffee this morning. Before I start though, I hope you enjoyed the one I did from the bush with the AeroPress. That was actually a bit of fun. But today I've actually got this drip coffee system. This actually is from Aldi, believe it or not. And I saw it there, it's only like $30. I thought, I'll try it out. And so we're gonna try this out this morning. And I'm gonna use their recipe. They give you a little thing here, tell you how to do it all. It's all pretty easy, and they've got a recipe there. So I'm gonna use their recipe and see how it turns out. But a couple of comments just before I start. A few things about it that I sort of don't like, I suppose, if you want to call it that way, is basically there's no real measuring of the weight for the coffee. You just fill up to a line, and there's no real measuring of the water. So I'm not actually sure what the ratio is of all this stuff. So I'm actually going to work that out a little bit and see where we're at. But we're going to use their recipe. So here we go. Another thing, it actually feels a little bit flimsy too. So hopefully that doesn't mean it's a flimsy coffee. But really easy to do. Fill up coffee, and I've actually ground some coffee here. It's probably a bit hard to see. I'll try and get it on the camera here. This is the coarsest setting I could do on the machine I've got there. It's probably not quite what I would use on my normal cold brew. I would have it somewhere between the consistency of sand to salt in there somewhere. So it's a little bit coarse, but this is probably still not quite there, but we're gonna fill this up. So actually I'm gonna zero this out here to actually try and work out how much coffee we have got in here. So they say just to fill it up to the fill line. So hopefully I've ground enough coffee. So I'm just gonna put the coffee in here, roughly sort of work out how much I've got. I think I've got just enough. Maybe not quite. I might have to grind some more. It's just the thing, I couldn't tell me how much to grind. Oh, I think that's perfect. That's saying it's about 25 grams. Let me just, what's that out? That, I think, is not quite enough. Let me just get a little bit more coffee out of my thing. All right, not quite enough. Put a little bit more in there. Let's see, actually, once it flattens out, I'm trying not to compact it, but I'm just trying to get it to their, what they call their fill line. Okay, so we've got it there. The next step, they say, we've got a little filter. The little filter sits on top here. And so they say to soak the coffee and soak the filter. So I'm just going to get a little bit of water. And I'm just going to, without trying to overflow it, well, soak the coffee. At least get some water into the coffee. And I'm going to wet the filter as well. And then put the filter on, if I can, on top. Some wet coffee and the filter. Then, it's getting a bit messy, isn't it? We put this top section on and we move. Hopefully you can see this. There's some little adjustments. I'll try and show it on the camera here, just on the side. So when we screw on this section here, we've got to get this round. I'll see it there. So there's a 0 and there's a line, so we've got to start there. So that's sort of our starting point. It's off. And they say to leave that for about 30 seconds to about a minute. So we're going to sort of let that go for about 30 seconds. And then that's just soaking. We're actually going to fill the top section here with water. Now here's the same deal. There's no real measurement here. They just say fill it to the fill line. On this one, it's hard to know where the fill line is. It's pretty much just to the top. So I'm going to go a little bit from the top. And that's with cold water. Now, as I said, I'm using their recipe today. And we put the lid on. And we take the whole bit and we sit it on here. Now, at the moment, it's still in that off position. Well, it should be in that off position there. And they actually say, because what you can do, if I can show it on the camera, you can change how much it drips from, from fairly quick to quite slow. So they use theirs, and it's about 2/3. So we're going to do that. We're going to turn this around. You see that little line? We're going to turn it around to about there. And that is where they say you should go. Now, all things considered, this should start dripping. I might stand here and do nothing, but it's going to take a while. There we go. Now it's starting to drip. And so that will take anywhere, they say up to, like from the fastest one, it's about an hour and a half to maybe 10 hours. So we'll see, tomorrow we're going to see what this actually tastes like. This is totally different to the way I do my cold brew. My cold brew is the immersion type, and generally mine's about 20 hours. And I use if I've got 10 grams of coffee to 100 mils of water. So in the one that you saw me use with, show you with Chris the other day, that would take about 700 mils. So I'd use 70 grams of coffee. So here we've got about, between, well, who knows, when you feel that's going to be between 25 and 30 grams of coffee. So if that was the case, then I would be having 250 to 300 mils of water. But we're going to let that go, and tomorrow we're going to try that out. So there's a good little summer one for you. Try this out, $30 from Aldi. It's not going to cost a heap, and you can try out a cold brew, and then you can adjust it and see whether you like it stronger, weaker, change the coarseness of your grind, and away you go. Well, we'll just let that go. Have a fantastic day, and as I always say, life's too short to drink bad coffee, so get yourself a good coffee, and hopefully this is a good cold brew, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.